In the spirit of the holidays, we want you to celebrate with your favorite Wager Talk or Sports Memo handicappers and do it at a discount by giving you a one-time 25% off everything you can fit into your cart between now and midnight on December 25th using coupon code GIFT25 when checking out. While this coupon can only be used once at Wager Talk and once at Sports Memo, the value is unlimited and there is no limit on what you can add to your cart when redeeming. Daily, all access, season, pick your team, and even mix and match handicappers as the combinations are endless. Remember, there is no limit to the number of handicappers at Wager Talk and Sports Memo you can lock in, but coupon code GIFT25 will expire at midnight on Christmas. On behalf of everyone at Wager Talk, Sports Memo, and Gold Sheet, we want to thank you for supporting us in 2022 by watching our videos, following us on social media, and trusting us with your wagers. However you celebrate, we wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Hey guys, welcome into Wager Talk TV. This is Puck Time, and I am Andrew McInnis. I am joined by Dom Buster. It's just the two of us here on today's show, and we look forward to breaking down 4 games for you on today's show, and of course, best bets at the end of the show. I'm looking forward to bouncing back today, as I don't think I had my best Puck Time performance yesterday for you guys, so I got to bounce back and have a big day for you guys here on the show. I do have a few picks out of the games we have decided to talk about that I do like, and I'm sure Buster has some great opinions for us as well. Buster, I'll bring you in. How are things, man?
Things, truthfully, Andrew, as you know, we talked about it earlier, about 10 minutes before the show started, my internet went down, so I'm running on a hotspot here, so hopefully everything will work out. But as we know, I do have a little bit of bad luck with internet stuff, although it's been fantastic for the last month and a half. So anyways, besides that, and of course, then just gets me all upset, and but it is Christmas, right? So this is my Christmas gift. So hopefully we'll have no trouble. Producer Dan's got everything under control, and he even says my hotspot's better than my normal stuff. So who knows? Maybe I have to go and use this all the time instead. So, anyways, some really good games today, guys. That's for sure, and looking forward to a good show.
Me too, Buster. Yeah, it's a good lineup today. I just want to mention real quick, yesterday I was able to see a World Junior Hockey pre-tournament game, and everybody keeps talking about Connor Bedard being the next Connor McDavid or Sidney Crosby or whoever you want to call that's a great hockey player. I'm telling you, from what I saw yesterday, guys, he looks exactly like what people describe him to be. He was an unbelievable player to watch. I drove about 50 minutes in a snowstorm. So if that doesn't sound Canadian to you, driving in a snowstorm to a hockey game to go watch Team Canada play in a pre-tournament game, I don't know what does, but it was really good to see him, and I got to see Shane Wright as well, Buster, which was pretty cool watching him play. But the games we are breaking down, we've got, like you said, some good ones here. We have the Devils and Hurricanes, Rangers, Penguins, Lightning, Maple Leafs, and the Ottawa Senators taking on the Winnipeg Jets. Let's jump right into it here, Buster. With the first game, we'll break down Carolina hosting the New Jersey Devils. Carolina minus 120. The Devils plus 100. Puck line minus 1.5 is plus 200. Total at 6 in this one. Slightly shaded towards the under here. Take a look at Carolina right now. They are 19-6-6 on the season. The Devils 21-8-2. If we all remember, I mean, that unbelievable streak the Devils went on. They were just cruising along, beating every single team that stepped in front of them. They have an average per game of 3.45 goals per game. Carolina 2.97. They're both averaging lots of shots. Both teams create lots of chances. And I'd say they're both pretty good defensive teams, but their offenses play pretty well too. But here's really the story in this game, Buster, is that the NHL is so streaky. That's what I've really found, especially this year. Teams go on runs. They go on losing streaks, they go on winning streaks. And sure, you can find your spots to try and break those streaks, whether it's a winning or a losing streak. But the Devils are actually on a little bit of a slide right now, losing 6-4 to the Islanders, 4-3 to the Rangers, 4-1 to Dallas, 2-1 to Philly, and 4-2 to Florida. Meanwhile, Carolina, well, they're on pretty much the opposite right now. They're running extremely hot. to me, I'm going to, as Teddy Covers would say, ride the hot, fade the cold, go with the home team at a pretty good price here with Carolina at -120. What do you think? Are you with me?
Well, Andrew, I am with you. And you say it's -120. I saw 135 last night, 130. So I was just waiting. Now you see 120. So right after this show, I will be making that a play for my clients. Carolina, it's won 9 out of the last 10 games. And they've actually owned this New Jersey club of late. New Jersey are 1-6 last 7 in Carolina. And we talked about this last week when we had Dallas and New Jersey on. And I had said that I liked Dallas that game. New Jersey has lost a couple games, and it was just seeming that it might, with that look ahead of their schedule, like they might start to regress. Now, Dallas did win that game, and it looks like the regression is starting. They've lost, as you said, Andrew, they've lost 5 in a row. And as I mentioned last week on the show, they have a brutal, brutal schedule. Florida, Boston twice, Pittsburgh, and these same Hurricanes again. That's their next games. So I think they might break that streak when they play Boston. I believe they play Boston at home, so maybe that would be the spot that they might break it. But I really like Carolina in this spot here, just like you. As far as for the total, I know I could lean to the under. You could talk me into the under here, under 6. But 6 is, and I think, you know, I know you watch a lot of hockey like I do, Andrew, and 6s are, I mean, they're easy to get to. I've said it for years on the show. The 6 is easy to get to. But if you notice last week, there's been teams, looks like they're going to be unders, and they score 2 empty nets, or a team scores with the goalie pull, the other team, and next thing you know, you're looking at 5-2, 5-3, and you're like, hold on, I just had that game under, and it was 3-1 in the third period. Yeah. So I'm always worried, especially with teams like this that can score. But if you like the under, there's lots of trends for it. The under's 12-4-1 in New Jersey's last 11, so that's pretty good. And the under is 10-4-2 last 16 in Carolina with these guys. So there is a play here for the under, and it could be like a 3-1 Carolina win. But for me, I'm getting probably one of the best teams in hockey. I'll put them up there. They might not have the record of a Boston, you know, and now that New Jersey's starting to stumble, I tell you, they're one of the best teams in hockey at home. They're really good at home. 2 teams heading in the opposite direction, and I'm getting 120. Now, I know New Jersey, they're really good on the road. They've won 11 of the last 12. All that does, guys, is it keeps me from making this a larger bet. But I'm with Carolina here.
Buster, I got to tell you something. I think that whatever connection you're using right now, you better use the rest of the season, because you are sounding crystal clear right now. You're sounding good. Hey, you're right. You're right. We gotta knock on wood. Make sure. Forget I even said that. But I'll tell you what, you're sounding good. The pick sounds good. I like it, and both
as my
of us are in
Mexican
agreement
friends
there.
would say, Andrew, vámonos. Let's we don't want to tempt fate.
I like that. I want to remind everybody about that promo code PT30 that applies to everybody that is on Puck Time this week, including Don Buster over at sportsmemo.com, sm.buzz/DB. You can use that for him, PT30. $30 off a 7-day all-access pass. And as we always encourage people, it's just nice to have the longer term, you know, not just one play, not one day, not 3 days. Just get a week sample size. A week is a good time frame, I think, to get a little idea of how somebody handicaps, how many plays they put out, and all that good stuff. Guys, it is $2 Tuesday at wagertalk.com. They also have 3 handicappers over at Sports Memo. You can get R&R totals, Dion D'Amico, and Moneyline Matt. And I am the $2 guy at wagertalk.com. I have a 5% play up in the NHL, so you can grab that for just $2. And don't forget, I mean, that 3 for $5 deal is outstanding as well. So lots of great deals today here on a Tuesday over at both websites to check out. And again, a good chance to check out a handicapper if you have not checked them out before. Let's keep this show going here. Let's talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins. They are taking on the New York Rangers. They are -140 favorites in this game. We have the Rangers +120. Total is at 5.5. And I'll tell you what, Buster, you talked about the 6s, and we talk about 6.5s. And I think you and I have talked together about these 5.5s, about how a lot of things have to go wrong for a game even to go under 5.5. That total is just so low. That used to be the norm. When I first started betting hockey, that's what everything was 5.5s. Then it got to 6s. Then we started seeing some 7s. But I'll tell you what, you learn this in the NFL, and right now it's starting to come true in the NHL. The totals are low for a reason, right? I mean, we all know this, but there's a reason why this is a 5.5, and it's a reason why 6.5s have their totals. I have not done well recently with 5.5s, going over. I've picked some spots. I think, Buster, when you and I are on the same page with these 5.5s, it seems to go well. But yesterday, despite not having some of their top guys, I take the over in the Colorado game. And that one is 0-0 after 2. I mean, that's about as frustrating as it gets. So I'll be honest, these 5.5s had frustrated me a little bit here. But looking at this Pittsburgh Penguins team, it's interesting when you look at this matchup between the Rangers and the Penguins, really, just because I think they're teams that are kind of on a little bit of different tracks. The Rangers are, I don't want to say on like a revenge tour, but they didn't really have a great start to their season. And again, I talk about how teams are so streaky, and Carm talks about that too, trying to find teams at the beginning of a run. This is a team in the Rangers that have only lost twice in their last 10 games. They've looked really impressive. Their defense has looked strong as well. Buster, when I look at this game, I like the under 5.5, and it might surprise you because we talk about these 5.5s, how, you can get up and over with some big third periods and empty net goals and stuff like that. But I think the defense has been a big key. Obviously, they have found their scoring touch, which does worry me a little bit here. But I think the penalty kill looks strong for both clubs, and I think the under is the play here. I do have a slight lean to the favorite, but with how the Rangers are playing right now, I don't want to risk minus 140 to get in the way of a streak like that. So might surprise you, Buster, but I like the under in this game. What do you think?
Actually, Andrew, that does surprise me. I will make a couple comments first before we get into this analysis. Number one, good luck on that game tonight. I don't know what it is. Hopefully you'll tell me after the show, and hopefully I'll like the game so I can go bet it myself. Number two, you were talking about totals since you were, a lot of 5.5s and that. Well, I'm going to age myself because when I started betting hockey, totals were 7.5s, 8s, stuff like that all the time. All the time. And that's just the way it was, right? And so anyways, that just goes to show you. And I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there that watch this show that are regular viewers that have been around for a little bit of time like myself, and they all will remember that. They all remember the 7.5s and 8s. It was a crazy time. But then again, you had a lot of guys that were putting the puck in the net, and I'm not too sure if the goaltenders were really good, but I mean, yeah, the goaltenders now, the bigger equipment, I don't know. It's just a little different. So anyways, I'll get back to the analysis here. Again, good luck, brother, on that 5%. And I know being a $2 handicapper, it's very important that you win that. It helps you big time. So good luck, brother. Here, like you said, Andrew, here are two teams that are playing probably their best hockey of the season. Rangers have won 7 in a row. And the thing here, why I'm going to be going with Pittsburgh here, is that this will be their third game of the road trip. And it's also, we talk about it all the time, the dreaded third game in 4 nights for the Rangers. I know that spot hasn't worked as well. And we talked about that last week, or maybe a couple weeks ago. Hasn't worked as well as it has in the past. When the first 10 games of the year, it was almost money all the time. Now it's been about a 50-50 proposition. But we got Pittsburgh at home. Pittsburgh has won 5 straight at home. They're 9-3-2 in Pittsburgh on the year. Very good home club. Again, it is a tough call, but I just really think that Pittsburgh will have the upper hand in this one here. Just really like Pittsburgh, because remember, they had won 7 in a row until they lost in Carolina. So this 7 in a row thing maybe goes against the Rangers tonight. Again, just like the way Pittsburgh's been playing. As for the total, I know you like it under, Andrew. I'll give you a little stat for the over. The over's 13-3-3 in the last 19 meetings between these guys in Pittsburgh, which kind of, when I saw that, I thought, geez, that seems strange. But they do play a little bit more open hockey. And the Rangers have, as you said, on that winning streak, have scored some goals. So truthfully, though, Andrew, good luck. I'll take a Pittsburgh 4-1 win instead because I want really no part of that total because of the goaltenders. And that's why it was 6, and now it's bet down to 5.5. And actually, that might put me on, would have normally sometimes maybe put me on the over because being the contrarian that I am, it's bet down to 5.5. Well, okay. And I like betting not over 5.5. But with the goaltenders tonight, really want no part of that total. But I am going to lay the 140 with Pittsburgh here. I think they win this one.
Yeah, I haven't bet the under quite yet. That's kind of just where I lean towards, but I am with you on the Pittsburgh Penguins. I do like that side. It's just tough as a favorite like that for me to go against a big streak like what the Rangers are on. But I agree with all the situational stuff you mentioned and the spot play. It is a good one there for the Pittsburgh Penguins. They're playing well as a team. And I want to ask you, I know you had something else you wanted to add, Buster, but one thing about this Rangers team I'm still concerned about is that I still find that they have a group of guys that do the scoring, and that might be about it sometimes. Do you agree that could be a problem for them sometimes with their team?
Yeah, of course. I think it will be a problem. What will be more of a problem is probably come playoff time, right? So now you need Shesterkin to stand on his head to win some games because they do get in ruts where they seem to not be able to score. And when you start getting that tight check in playoff hockey against some really good clubs, not scoring goals could be a downfall, but they do. I like that ad of Trocheck this year. That's key, I think. And again, two great. Like I say, the first 2 games we had 2 great games. We got a third one, a good game coming up. I've got 3 TVs down here, brother, and all 3 will be on these first 3 games. That's for sure tonight.
Yeah, you got to love Tuesday nights in the NHL. I've got my laptop going. I've got a monitor going, a TV. I'm sure the girlfriend's going to just love me tonight. I'm going to be, all conversation, meals cooked, everything. I'm going to be I'm going to be so attentive to her. That's for sure. No, it's a work night tonight. It's all hockey tonight. I'll have to tell her. I'm sorry.
Well, brother, let me give you a little bit of advice, okay? If I can. What you do, because you need to have another room where you are, and you set up a beautiful TV, and that's for her. So she can go in, watch some Netflix, watch some of those, shows that maybe me and you would not want to watch, right? Yeah. And you have that set up, and she's like, oh, you know what? It's episode 6 of my series, so I need to watch that. Go ahead, Andrew, watch all the hockey you want. And things work that way, but it has to be a nice TV. You can't give her some shitty little 25-inch or 25. You need to have a nice TV for her. That's what you need.
I could be wrong, but it might sound like you're speaking from experience, Buster. It might sound.
I am. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to help you out. Yeah.
I know. I appreciate it. I love it. Let's jump into the Lightning versus the Maple Leafs here. Lightning are on the road here in Toronto. Toronto minus 135-ish here. It's gone up and down this number through the morning, but we're seeing Tampa plus 115, total at 6, shaded towards the over. Obviously kind of a revenge game from a few weeks ago, Buster. Revenge, I guess you could say, from the playoffs last year. What do you think here in this hockey game?
Yeah, you know what? Toughest game of the night, almost to the point where I was hoping that you wouldn't put this game on because to me, it's a very, very tough handicap. Tampa Bay comes to Toronto, winners of 7 of the last 8 games. Toronto are playing some great hockey themselves, and you know how much I hate to say that. Almost might lose my Montreal card because the last 2 weeks I've actually been talking really good about the Leafs. Which, you know what, as I always say, I'm a straight shooter, and when they're playing some great hockey, they've won 9 of their last 12, and they're playing very well. And Toronto does, and now it's like I've kind of coined that phrase of instant revenge. And they do have revenge. It might not be as instant as I like, but they lost that game on December 3rd in overtime 4-3 in Tampa. And again, my Montreal card at stake here. I did watch that game with Toronto. And they actually looked, to me, on the eye test, that they played a lot better than Tampa Bay. They just lost the game. And as we all know who love this game, that happens in hockey. You can have the best club by far and still lose a hockey game. Tampa Bay, though, which puts me against Toronto, they've kind of got the Leafs number, right? They've won 4 of the last 5 meetings. They beat them all the time in the playoffs. But on a good point for Toronto, they're at home, and they've been very good at home. 11-2-3 this year. So for me to take a side here, really tough. I could see why people want to play Toronto, and the Toronto fans would like them tonight because I think it is a better spot for Toronto here. But as for what I might play, I'm not sure if it's going to make my card yet. I might play the over. I know it's 6, and I know both these teams are playing way unders more than normal. Like with the way they can score goals, there's lots of unders. But the over between these guys, 6-1 last 7. So, I mean, I like that. It just seems like they maybe open up the ice a little bit more and don't play that defensive way when they're playing each other, because maybe deep down they both know that the other team can score in a second, right? And next thing you know, something else happens, boom, you're down 2-0 in a real hurry. Mm-hmm. And either one of these clubs can do that to you, right? So, again, last game, and the reason too, I always talk about line value. This year, that last game was a 6. Every other game, probably going back 10, I don't know, maybe even longer, 6.5. I know they're 6s because of the way they're playing this year. But again, normally you'd see a 6.5 on this game. I don't know if it makes my card. Everybody out there, your Toronto fans, good luck with Toronto. If you think Tampa Bay still owns them, good luck with Tampa Bay. But hopefully that gives you a little bit of analysis on what you want to pick. But then again, it's a great card. You can always pass.
Well, that's just the thing. You know, we try and talk about these big games, and obviously this is, like you said, one of the games of the night. And you know, we try and give out our predictions, try and give our best bets here on these big games. And Buster, it's funny what you talk about Leafs fans. One of my best friends is a Leafs fan, and we talk hockey and betting all the time together. And you know, at night, like the night before the next slate, you know, if the Leafs play, like for example, so last night he's texting me, he's talking to me, and every time this happens, it's not like it's just a rarity. Every single time the Leafs play, like during the day, I'll say like, "Oh, what are you on tonight?" Like he'll ask for my picks, and we'll exchange picks. And he's like, "Well, I'm on the Leafs puck line, and I'm on the team total, and I'm on Matthews to score a goal." And then I'm like, "Okay."
Like every game.
2 days later, I'm like, "So what do you like tonight?" I think Matthews is going to get a hat trick tonight, and I think this guy. And it's like the funny thing is though, last year he made a lot of money with Matthews to score a goal because it was like every game he was scoring a goal. But it's just funny you talk about, you know, fans and the role they play, and you know, I remember the Washington Capitals were the first team to introduce a betting kiosk into their arena. So how many fans do you think were walking in there and betting on the opponent? Not many. You know, they're probably printing slips for the Washington every single game. So it's, I'd love to know the ticket count for how many people were just walking in there and taking Washington versus actually taking the opponent, no matter who it really was. But I'm with you on the total. You know, I think that this is one of those things where I always compare it to like soccer matches. You oftentimes you see like a soccer match be in the 70th minute, no goals, one team scores, and all of a sudden the game ends 3-1. You know, sometimes you just need it to break. You know, we just need the floodgates to open up, one team to score a goal for those teams, like you said, to just kind of get out of that defensive mindset. Both teams have so many talented players offensively. The top 6s are dangerous for both clubs, that it's almost like defense is the key to start the game. But the second a team starts scoring, then things open up. So let's keep it in mind. I mean, probably a year ago, this number would have been 6.5 between these clubs, probably, you know. And I think we could even get a 5.5 if you wait about 15 minutes, 10 minutes into this game. You might be able to get a 5.5. I have a feeling this game starts slow, but we could see some goals, you know, as it goes. You know, it's like you talked about, Buster, these days in the NHL. I'd love to get the stats. Maybe I'll reach out to Ralph about this, because obviously the first period is the lowest scoring period. I believe statistically the second period is the highest scoring, but these live bets to the over have been just like, if you're betting these live bets like to the over, you're making real good money right now in the NHL, because games are starting slow, first periods are starting slow, and then games are picking up. I feel bad for first period over bettors these days. How many times you see a game 0-0 after 1, and then all of a sudden, yesterday in the Habs game, perfect example, 4 goals in the second period. That would bug me. But I like the over, like Buster, but I think we could almost get a better number live here. And it's a nice number at 6. Might be able to get 5.5 as well. But it is a big, big game here tonight. And as you mentioned, Buster, the Leafs do play well at home here. in this one. Ottawa and Winnipeg, the last game we'll break down before we jump into best bets here. Ottawa plus 130. We've got Winnipeg minus 150. And, Buster, this Winnipeg team's been playing really well. We can talk about travel situations for either team. Really, I know Winnipeg was traveling around. Now we've got Ottawa here. Similar situation for them, except for, Ottawa, it's so early in the season, but they're really desperate to get on a roll, and they've played some better hockey recently. They don't want to fall in the basement of their division when it's only December, almost January. They want to be able to at least stay alive and, stay close to Montreal and some of the other teams, near them. But Winnipeg has been an absolute wrecking ball. They've been a really solid team here. But I think there's some interesting situational plays here in this game. I'm curious your thoughts. What do you think here, side or total?
Well, Andrew, I'm going to go with the side here. I like Winnipeg. I think it's what I don't know what you have up there, 150, but that line, I think it should be like maybe 170, 175. Both these clubs are in that dreaded third game in 4 nights. Ottawa, as you said, Andrew, they've been playing a lot better hockey. They've actually won 4 of their last 5 games. So you think, maybe Ottawa is a live dog. Well, I can see people thinking that. But let's see who they beat in those 4 games. That'd be Detroit, Anaheim, Nashville, and our Montreal Canadiens. So, again, now they're stepping up big time to face Winnipeg. And the last time when they stepped up last game, they played Minnesota and lost in Minnesota. So really like the Jets club here. And you know what, Andrew, you've talked about it on the shows. And it just seems it's funny. On Tuesdays, it seems like we're talking about Montreal or Winnipeg. There's always that game on, and this Winnipeg, I think, has been on almost every Tuesday I've been on this season. Winnipeg, and then of course, if Montreal was playing, Carmine would have put that Montreal game on, especially with him not being here to take any abuse from us. So, but yeah, Winnipeg, and we've played Winnipeg a lot this year because they're very good at home. And again, as for the I'll just go and get to the total here as well. The total we talk about all the time, that that dreaded third game in 4 nights, I tend to like it over. But the over is 6-1-1, the last 8 between these clubs in the peg. So, that might be the way to go, especially out of 6. Might be the way to go. However, I know a lot of trends for Ottawa for the under, right? They've loved 4 of their last 5 have gone under. 8 of their last 10 on the road have gone under for Ottawa. That actually leans me. When you're seeing unders with the team, that means they're losing. And when I have a Winnipeg club that are 15-5, last 20 at home, I know it's 150. It's a little high for what I like, but when I see what I believe is value, because with this, I don't know why Winnipeg keeps getting no respect, especially at home. Got a great goalie in Connor. To me, Ottawa's the only way I can go here. I can, as far as the total, I think it's very tough total. It could be 5-1 Winnipeg tonight.
Well, you take a look at this Winnipeg team, and I think it's a perfect example of what I've been talking about on the show recently about how you don't want to read too much into strength of schedule, because really no matter who they've gone up against, they've given a good effort. They haven't really looked flat too many times, but both these clubs haven't really, like you talked about, Buster, played the toughest of competition recently. But especially for Ottawa, those couple wins that they did gather, well, like you said, they were against our favorite team, the Montreal Canadiens, and they were against, the Detroit Red Wings, who are struggling now, and, the Anaheim Ducks. So, you take a look at their wins, and they really aren't against great teams. And then you talk about Tim Stützle not playing tonight, Josh Norris not being around, and I think that when you have a really solid team, a top-notch team, let's say like the Bruins, if they were without Brad Marchand tonight, they would still be a good bet potentially. When you take a look at an Ottawa Senators team, you need all hands on deck. You need all your best players to be in the lineup. It's hard enough to get a win in the first place, let alone without your best players. That's you know what I'm saying. So I think that's definitely a big factor. I think Winnipeg, because that they really aren't off a good performance. They did lose that one to Seattle. They just looked flat against Seattle. I feel like that almost helps our case even more here with Winnipeg on the money line. So I'm with you, Buster. I like that play. I like the home team. I think it's really rough for a team like Ottawa to be without a few key pieces, and I almost like it even more that Winnipeg is off a loss. So my thoughts, and Buster, both of us liking the Winnipeg Jets here. And like you said, not really a price that we love, but I think it is justified. It's a price that we're willing to take a look at here against the Ottawa Senators. And once again, guys, we always appreciate you for tuning in. If you're somebody that does not buy picks, but you just watch our content, please do us a favor, hit the like button, comment. Let us know what you think about the show. Let us know what your picks are for tonight. If you are interested in checking out our favorite picks of the night, you can go to wagertalk.com or Sports Memo, and you can use the promo code PT30 to get $30 off a 7-day all-access pass. That's PT30. Take 7 days. Get a 7-day pass, $30 off a 7-day pass. So we always love promoting those 7-day passes or 30 days or, long ones. It's just better than getting 1 day or one pick, in my opinion. Buster, I want to know what you have going for this week, for tonight, for your clients. I know there's NFL still going. We've got college football has been so fun to watch lately. What do you have going for your clients, and what's your best bet?
Well, thank you, Andrew. You said it. Go over to the sportsmemo.com, go to our homepage, and use that PT30 and get a 7-day all access with $30 off. Like you said, NHL, college football bowl games, the NFL. Remember, everybody, the NFL is playing on Saturday for most of those games because Christmas is on Sunday. So a lot of big schedule of NFL games on the Saturday. And, so go over, grab that pass, and we're looking to have a good week after a little rough weekend and a few bad beats to go. Even last night had a couple of rough games. Of course, overtime losses always come and bite the Buster. But, hey, it's part of the game. And, you win some of these ones, you lose some of these ones. And if you do this for as long as I have, you got to let it what is that, the water on a duck's back? You just kind of let it go and move forward. Our show play, talking about moving on, we've been horrific, Andrew, giving out our show plays. Believe me, I've been getting comments. Buster, that's a fifth show place that you lost and all that. Guys, been doing this 4 years on this show, usually really good with these show plays, not changing anything, picking the right ones. I'm even getting away from my first period puck lines because I've been having a little bit of bad luck. So anyways, show play, Calgary in regulation, minus 115. Second game in a row in San Jose. We actually had them the other night on Sunday in regulation. And they had lost 5 before that. This is a good time for Calgary, needs to get on a winning streak. I think it's a good time to do so. So Calgary in regulation, minus 115 is a show play. Let's get one before Christmas. And I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate. And of course, to all my Mexican friends that watch this show, there are a bunch of yous, and I really appreciate that. Feliz Navidad. One thing, make sure all of you be safe over the holiday season. That's most important. And as always, best of luck with all your plays, and have a great day.
What a great message, Buster. Always good having you on the show, man. Happy holidays to you. Merry Christmas. I hope you have a great time. And I agree. Guys, be safe. Don't drink and drive. Call an Uber. Call a taxi. Have fun with your friends and family. We want to see you in our chat again. We want to see you commenting and watching our content and having a good time. So, Buster, I love that play. I feel like they're going to get on a big run. I think it's a great spot for them. And I think I'll be on that one myself tonight, Buster. So for me, guys, again, I do have a 5% play going tonight. It's only $2 at wagertalk.com. It's rare that you get to have these plays where they're only $2. So take advantage while you can. If you've never bought a pick from me before, check it out for just $2 at wagertalk.com. 4-1 this year on the season with 5% plays in the NHL and on a 14-5 long-term run with those. And speaking of people that are on runs, how about a guy in Trevor Moore? We're going over 2.5 shots on goal with Trevor Moore from the LA Kings. We have the Anaheim Ducks that rank dead last, 32nd in the league in shots given up each game. Trevor Moore has gone over this number in 7 of his last 8 games. We talk about line value and a certain price. This is minus 140. I think it should be in the 60s or 70s with this guy. He's constantly going over, and the books don't adjust for who they're playing against. They're playing against the Ducks to give up shots to everybody. Last game of the road trip for the Ducks. I expect lots of shots on goal for the Kings, and I think lots of shots on goal for Trevor Moore. That's my best bet here on the show. We've got Don Buster looking at Calgary in regulation, and we always appreciate Buster joining us here on the show. Oh, we have a pick from Carmine. Didn't even see that. Tampa Bay, Toronto, under 6, plus 100 there from Carm. So, guys, that's it for today's show. We really do appreciate you all for tuning in. Wager Talk today is coming up next at 12 o'clock Eastern Time. Other than that, take care, and we'll see you tomorrow.
In the spirit of the holidays, we want you to celebrate with your favorite Wager Talk or Sports Memo handicappers, and do it at a discount by giving you a one-time 25% off everything you can fit into your cart between now and midnight on December 25th using coupon code GIFT25 when checking out. While this coupon can only be used once at Wager Talk and once at Sports Memo, the value is unlimited and there is no limit on what you can add to your cart when redeeming. Daily, all access, season, pick your team, and even mix and match handicappers, as the combinations are endless. Remember, there is no limit to the number of handicappers at Wager Talk and Sports Memo you can lock in, but coupon code GIFT25 will expire at midnight on Christmas. On behalf of everyone at Wager Talk, Sports Memo, and Gold Sheet, we want to thank you for supporting us in 2022 by watching our videos, following us on social media, and trusting us with your wagers. However you celebrate, we wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.